From a high-speed pit maneuver in Arkansas that sent this officer airborne, and a truck thief in Los Angeles who thought he could escape on his skateboard, to a driver in San Joaquin County who wasn't about to let this psycho steal their car, and much more. Here are some of the most unbelievable police dashcam moments caught on camera. On February 13th of 2023, 911 operators in Los Angeles, California received this call. According to the caller, his son heard the engine start while everyone was inside the house. They looked outside to see the truck pulling away only minutes before calling 911. It wouldn't be too hard to spot as there was a trailer hooked to the back of it. It didn't take long for police to find the stolen truck. As you probably guessed, this driver had no intention of stopping.
Check this out. Hold on. Yeah, TC. We're going to be in pursuit. We're going to be...
Our driver pulls back onto the main road and cuts off a wave of oncoming traffic. Police follow him down another narrow road where one wrong move could cause some serious damage. This car thief clearly didn't know how to drive with a trailer. You won't believe how he tried to escape after crashing. Now let's see that one more time from the pushing officer's perspective. Our skateboarding suspect is 30-year-old Pedro Villalobos. Police took him to the hospital for a minor injury and then arrested him on 2 counts of vehicle theft and resisting arrest. We don't know which idea was dumber, fleeing on a skateboard or fleeing on a skateboard while wearing a reflective vest. According to the police in Franklin County, Ohio, stolen cars have become a real issue in 2024. The trend may have sent the wrong message to these 2 Columbus teenagers. Instead of focusing on their grades, they decided to improve their hot wiring skills. On May 7th of 2024, police in Columbus, Ohio received a call about a stolen Hyundai. They raced to the scene near the John Glenn International Airport, where they saw the stolen car making a sudden U-turn. Now, these young car thieves were heading right for them. According to police, these teens had a prior history of stealing cars and running from the cops. They fearlessly weave in and out of traffic while taking tight, evasive turns. Now, they've already damaged 1 police vehicle. Let's see how many more they hit before their joyride is over. The road opens up, and the teens hit speeds well over 100 miles per hour. Up ahead, they spot an officer waiting to throw spike strips toward their car. They bob and weave to confuse the officer, ultimately causing him to miss when he throws the spikes. Either these kids learned from the best, or they've been playing too much Grand Theft Auto. By our count, they've already knocked 2 officers out of this chase. Hopefully, the Columbus PD paid to have that person's headlight fixed. Police in a different car follow the teens through an active construction zone. You can hear the officers complaining about not being able to see. They have no idea how these kids made it through without hurting themselves or someone else. Both teens surrendered after crashing into the tree. It's hard to imagine their car could have taken any more damage. The sides were all banged up, they lost their rear bumper, and the passenger side airbag had deployed. Both of them were taken into custody and are currently sitting in juvenile detention as they await their next court date. According to Deputy Chief Dan Kelso, neither teen is worried about going to jail. They've been through this before. Normally, they get out on the same day. Lathrop, California is a small city in San Joaquin County, about 58 miles south of Sacramento. On January 27th of 2024, a 911 call came in from a woman who was concerned about her friend. A man named Juan Valdez was threatening her and apparently tried to harm her the night before. Police arrived on the scene and ushered the ladies to safety. They tried talking to Mr. Valdez, but he wasn't looking for friendly conversation. He led the police on a short chase, but then stopped like he was having second thoughts. Let's see if Juan does the right thing and surrendered. He eventually escapes the residential area and winds up driving on the wrong side of the road. When he tries to turn around, our police officers go in for the... It didn't look like much, but the pit was enough to damage Juan's back right tire. He tries taking police onto the highway, but his busted-up car can't handle the high speed. Due to YouTube's content policies, we aren't able to show you the next part. We can tell you, though, that Juan was a threat to the other driver's safety. Our officer drew his service weapon and shot Juan twice in the arm and upper torso. Thankfully, neither wound was life-threatening. Officers were able to provide first aid on the scene thanks to the emergency kits they kept in their cars. Juan said that his son was a Marine, thinking it was some kind of excuse. He said he was just trying to get away and didn't know why the police opened fire. In the end, he was booked on 5 felony charges, including carjacking and false imprisonment. He was also out on parole, which only made things worse. As for the officer who shot him, he was placed on paid leave. It seems like the whole situation is still under investigation. In 1988, police in Fairfax County, Virginia, were the first to use the precision immobilization technique, also known as the pit maneuver. It involves bumping the rear of a fleeing suspect's car and sending them into a tailspin to end a dangerous pursuit. Since then, the pit has been used to catch thousands, if not tens of thousands, of fleeing criminals. Unfortunately, it can be extremely dangerous when both parties are going too fast. On April 10th of 2020, police in Sebastian County, Arkansas were after a black pickup truck that had been running red lights, stop signs, and passing people on the shoulder. The driver, 34-year-old Justin Battenfield, refused to stop when police tried to pull him over. He reached speeds over 100 miles per hour as he weaved between traffic and drove on the wrong side of the road. Our lead officer, Trooper Sean Ellis, knew he had to get this guy off the road. As soon as he got permission to pit, he went for it. According to Ellis's report, the truck dipped into a driveway culvert, causing it to flip. His police cruiser went airborne, rolled several times, and landed a few dozen feet away. Cameras inside Ellis's car show what the crash looked like from the back seat. Watch how loose items pop up and float as his car soars through the air. Unfortunately, Mr. Battenfield sustained fatal injuries during the crash, raising many questions about the efficacy of pit maneuvers. Was it truly in the interest of public safety to run him off the road at 100 miles per hour? According to an NBC report, Justin had just bought the truck a few days prior. He was one of 30 people to have lost their lives to pit maneuvers between 2016 and 2020. His family questioned why police didn't just call off the pursuit and arrest him later on. After all, they had his plate number, which was registered in Justin's name. So, what do you think about this debate? Let us know in the comments. February 29th of 2024. Arkansas State Trooper James Booth has just pulled behind a suspicious silver Mustang. While heading east on I-30 in North Little Rock, Trooper Booth noticed that the Mustang had an altered seal on its temporary tag. When he ran the plates, he learned the tag number had expired back in 2022. Booth follows the Mustang while dispatch feeds him information. That's when our driver, Marquise Williams, starts getting a little paranoid. He keeps changing lanes, trying to see if the police are actually following him. Once he's convinced, he takes off running. Both vehicles accelerate to mind-boggling speeds, leaving civilians scrambling to get out of their way as they tear through the streets. Trooper Booth momentarily loses sight of the Mustang as they navigate a hilly road. Lucky for him, Mr. Williams had lost control up ahead. He's got a banged-up back end and a signpost stuck in his tire. But that wasn't about to stop this fleeing criminal. If Trooper Booth can hit him one more time, he might be able to end this chase. Marquise fled on foot, but he wasn't fast enough to outrun the police. Another officer from North Little Rock PD joined the foot chase and subdued Marquise near the train tracks. He was medically cleared before being brought to Pulaski County Jail. Police charged him with failing to register his vehicle, speeding, fleeing, and reckless driving. In June of 2021, Georgia State Police were on the lookout for a black Dodge Charger that had fled from multiple traffic stops. Around 1 a.m. on June 5th, Trooper Curley received a tip that this car was spotted on CCTV cameras in the area near the Westlake Apartments. He drove to the scene, and lo and behold, there it was. He ran the plates and confirmed this was the Charger they'd been looking for. Given the driver's past record, Trooper Curley should have assumed this wouldn't be easy. As soon as the lights came on, the driver took off. The driver keeps running red lights and stop signs, which allows him to put some distance between himself and Curley. If he can run enough of them, he may be able to get away again. Let's see if his luck holds up. If our driver can pull a few more quick turns, he may be able to shake Trooper Curly. Unfortunately for him, another officer was about to block his only escape route.
Put your hands behind your back. Taser deployed, about to be 1095.
What the f I did?
We weren't able to find anything about him on Google, so he may have given the police a fake name. To make matters worse, Trooper Curly could smell alcohol on John's breath. It's unclear what police officially arrested him for, though we can assume DUI, reckless driving, and fleeing were among the charges. Webb County, Texas, sits on the border of the US and Mexico. The county seat is split in half by the Rio Grande River. The American side is called Laredo, while the Mexican side is called Nuevo Laredo. Unfortunately, illegal immigration is a significant problem in the area, as the difference between the US and Mexico is a quick swim across the Rio Grande. An SUV full of human smugglers knew that all too well when they tried to run from police on July 9th of 2023. However, as police chased the SUV, a white Volkswagen tried to interfere. A few officers went after the Volkswagen as others chased the SUV toward the border. It's hard to tell, but there are currently 4 people in the water. Once they make it into the river, our officer calls off the chase. Meanwhile, other officers are still after the white Volkswagen, which has taken them through a crowded residential area. The driver tried pulling back onto the main road, but apparently forgot to look both ways. He gets clipped by a blue SUV, which costs him his bumper. The damage was enough to slow and eventually stop his car. The Volkswagen driver was arrested and charged with evading arrest, human trafficking, and interfering with public duties. The police also captured 2 illegal immigrants and turned them over to the U.S. Border Patrol. As for the SUV driver, we believe he successfully escaped into Mexico. What happened to him next is anybody's guess. Orlando police officer Alexander Shoney thought he was above the law. On June 6th of 2023, he was observed by a Seminole County Sheriff's deputy going 82 in a 45-mile-per-hour zone. He didn't have his lights or sirens on, making Officer Shoney just another civilian. Our sheriff's deputy hit speeds over 100 miles per hour just to catch up. When he did, Officer Shoney turned his lights on, perhaps trying to make it look like he was on a call. But it was too late. He was caught red-handed and had some choice words for his fellow officer after pulling over.
3113 to...
What? I am going into work, my man. Why are you trying to pull me over as I'm going into work?
Because you're going 80 and a 45.
I am going into work.
Okay, where are you going to work?
What does it look like I am dressed for?
What
does it look like I am dressed for?
My name is Deputy Hilton and I see your driver's license.
No.
Okay.
Instead of chasing him to work, our sheriff's deputy called it in and let Orlando PD handle it. According to reports, Officer Shoney was relieved of his duties pending a formal investigation. He was ultimately charged with reckless driving, fleeing, and resisting an officer. Then, in March of 2024, prosecutors dropped the charges, and Officer Shoney was back on the job. A state attorney's office representative said Shoney displayed a remorseful willingness to accept responsibility for his actions. Maybe next time he'll lay off the gas while on his way to work. On July 8th of 2022, Arkansas State Trooper Cullen Young got a call about a high-speed pursuit near the Texas border. Texas police were after a red Hyundai Elantra that was seen tossing bundles of white powder out the window. We'll let you imagine what that white powder was. Trooper Young sat near the Arkansas border and waited for the pursuit to come his way. When it did, he got behind the suspects and told Texas PD to back off. The Arkansas State Police would handle it from here. Up ahead, troopers Robert Neese and Antonio May prepare 2 sets of spike strips under the overpass. Let's see if their perfect plan comes together.
I'd put yours over there, draw that string all the way out over here, and I'll keep mine over here. If he comes on this shoulder, or you can get on the inside there.
Where?
Get over there, put yours on this side. If they try to go that way, pull it that way, and I'll pull mine this way, and we'll get them.
Unsuccessful spike at the third.
With the spikes in place, our officers only need to keep pace with the fleeing suspects. Now that's easier said than done, as the 2 men in the red Elantra hit speeds over 100.
He's stopping.
He goes, he's out, he's wrecked. He's wrecked. I'm almost here, Antonio. He goes, he's out, he's wrecked. He's wrecked. He almost hit Antonio. He swerved over towards him. He almost hit him.
L'Oreal Pope and Kendrick Bailey were arrested and charged with different crimes. As the driver, Pope got hit with fleeing, possession of a controlled substance, and aggravated assault for trying to hit Trooper May with his car. Police charged Bailey with multiple counts of possession. At the station, Pope allegedly told the booking officers, "I should have thrown everything out before we made it to Arkansas." Maybe he shouldn't have been driving around with all that white powder to begin with. October 11th of 2022. An Arkansas State Police officer is driving behind an orange Dodge Challenger with expired tags. At first, it looked like the driver would pull off the highway and stop for our trooper. If he did, well, he wouldn't be in this video, would he?
(1037) Little Rock. He's getting back on 430.
Show me your hands! Don't you put your hands down, you hear me?
The officer in the truck is actually an FBI agent. It's unclear if he was involved in the pursuit or was in the right place at the right time. We never learned the driver's name or what he was charged with. Perhaps he was part of a larger FBI-related investigation. If so, we understand why they'd want to keep things quiet. Now what's dumber, running from the FBI or driving around in a bright orange Challenger with expired tags? If you enjoyed this video and want to see another just like it, be sure to click the link on screen now. With that, thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.